Hello there! This is Stephanie. Welcome to the Changing Scripts PodTube Experience, part podcast, part YouTube channel. Yeah, this is the week without a podcast, so I am left to talk about my language learning. I'd say I've been a bad language learner, but I don't care anymore. Oh my gosh, there's so much goodness happening in my podcast world right now. And part of me wants to compartmentalize and say that I need to make a choice between learning Chinese and podcasting. And part of me thinks, shut up. Just shut up and stop doing that to yourself. I found a course on Coursera for HSK3 because I'm in perpetual review mode because I really feel like I haven't really learned HSK3, and now, since I was focusing on reading and writing so much because that's what I wanted to learn, I feel like I'm lopsided, and I feel like I do want to learn a little bit of how to produce the language in more than just reading it. Produce the language more than just reading it. That's the sentence I wanted to say. And if that means that I touch my Coursera course 3 times a week, then so frickin' be it. If that means that I do a few weeks where I'm doing it every day, which is very unlikely, then so be it. I don't really feel the need to do 5 to 7 days like I was doing all of last year, or at least the vast majority of last year. So it is very, very possible that my learning will go completely by the wayside. It is very, very possible that my language learning was there to get me to the point where I could use dictionaries and function that way while I'm living in China. I really don't know. It's very possible that all of that language learning was just to get me started on the language learning podcast that I'm doing. I don't know. I give up in trying to figure out the universe's ideas for why I've been doing anything that I'm doing. It is also very, very possible that the language learning was my chance to unwind, believe it or not, after leaving a PhD program that wasn't quite the right fit, but where I met many lovely people and started on some projects that were good at the time, and I needed another project, and it was kind of a filler until I found some other things along the way too. Could have been a stepping stone, or I could just continuing on learning very, very slowly, ad nauseum, for the rest of my life. I don't really know at this point, so I don't have a lot to tell you as far as what I've done because I keep doing the Coursera course slowly. What does that involve? There's a video where they explain the grammar, and they're focusing more on entire grammar points like sentences where you can rearrange the sentences, changing the subjects and stuff like that. Stuff I wasn't doing before. And then there's like word choice thingies where you move the words around the sentence. Then they give you a score and tell you how bad, in this case, how bad I've done. And yeah, I have to do it over and over and over again until I do it better. That's basically what I'm doing. I have dreams of working with my flashcards that are over there. Again, going not just from Chinese to English, but English to Chinese. But I just haven't made the time yet. Notice what I did there? I didn't say I didn't have the time. I wish I had the time. I don't. I don't really feel the urge to do that yet. And when I do feel the urge, I'll start doing it. I don't know. I don't know where all my language guilt went. It could have gotten swept up in the spring cleaning I did yesterday in the apartment. I don't know. You can probably see my mic shadow right here. I just finished the first episode of a new podcast that I'm working on with a wonderful co-host. And I'm producing podcasts every week now. Only one, not 3. That was craziness. But 1 a week. From the 3 that I have going, and 1 that's going to start in about a month and a half. I think we'll be ready about then. There's lots of good stuff happening. Lots. Do I need to force myself to do something to keep the studying going? This is the most unproductive language learning update known to man, from the slowest language learner also known to man. I don't know. When I was taking linguistics classes, well, okay, I took one. in my master's program for teaching English. I felt like an imposter because I didn't have a second language really under my belt, and a lot of the people in the class, including the professor, did. However, I've been hearing a lot lately from linguists, because I listen to different projects, YouTube channels, podcasts, etc. from linguists, and I hear a lot of stuff from linguists about how unfair it is that they're expected to know other languages really well, or at all. And they do all these comparisons of, do you ask, I don't even remember the comparisons, but comparisons to professional people, like a sports coach. Do you expect him to be the famous athletes? Sometimes they were for a while, right? And sometimes they weren't. Okay, so that's not the analogy. I'm not going to remember the analogies right now, but basically, just because you study something doesn't mean you're great at it. So can this be true for podcasting? Just because you podcast about a subject doesn't mean you're good at it? I mean, technically interviewing is a skill, right? So I could continue on with my language learning podcast without being a language learner. Could I? Could I? Should I? I don't really feel the need to stop learning. I just don't feel the need to go that full throttle. I don't know. I don't really even feel like it's a pressing thing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I keep thinking I'm going to come up with this giant, amazing plan that's going to solve all of this, and I'll be back on track tomorrow, and I'll take out my monthly plans, and I'll schedule when to take my HSK4, and we'll be back. I'll be doing exactly what I was doing last year. And it's May next week. I think the time has passed for me to delusionally think that I'm going to keep up with the same study pattern that I have literally not been doing for 4 months. The vast majority of 4 months. So, yeah. I am blissfully not really moving forward. And yet I'm noticing little things in the language that I haven't been able to notice before. So not pressuring myself to do it is in some ways lending my brain some space to do it a little bit. Not to the point of writing things down or practicing when I go to a place or talk to someone, but enough to think about things when I hear them. I don't know when that's going to end. I don't know. And I'm so disciplined about all of the other things that are happening in my life that I feel like I can't really compartmentalize and strategize my language learning right now. Yeah, I did that in quotes, because I don't think I have a language learning plan. The Coursera stuff is, I wouldn't say easy, but it's very light on the brain. The HSK materials I was using last year are definitely way more intense and more difficult. So, yeah, I don't know. Does it have to be intense and crazy to be productive? Do you have to be intense and crazy the whole time? I don't know. I also had someone tell me of a really, really good 3 morning a week course that I could take. I could also just take a month-long course at some point, take some vacation time off of work and just do that. Sure. I don't know. But until that urge hits me, I'm thinking I'll just keep taking this Coursera course until I get through it. It's supposed to be 7 weeks, but I've been stuck on the second week for about a week and a half. Crazy April's almost over. I overcommitted in every possible way this month and then canceled on stuff and still kind of got burnt out. But then I'm on vacation part of May too. So, what's the chance of me studying a lot? Not a lot, but some. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with this. I really don't know what to do with this. I'm not dropping it. I still see the language a lot around me. I'm still using what I know. I'm still seeing it on WeChat daily. So there's certain key phrases that I keep seeing that I won't be able to forget. So that's good. If that wasn't there, maybe I would press a little bit harder so that I wouldn't lose that. But I'm not losing that stuff. Most of that is staying there. So, yeah, my update is that I don't really have an update, except for some of the language guilt is gone, and I realized that I might not reach the original goal because other beautiful things have presented themselves in my life. And is that so bad? I don't know. I really, really don't know. All right, I'm gonna go. Satyan!